music snobbery has to be one of the most frustrating things you can do as a human. Now, we've all got that one mate who's a bit too, like, liberal with it. Not in terms of politically, but I mean, like, just in terms of life. And they're like, oh, it's okay, like, everyone can have their own thoughts and all this kind of stuff. Like, no, I still think that certain things sounds like ass. But also, music snobbery is what I have a problem with. You're allowed to not like things. That's the first thing. Like, not liking things is fundamentally human. Saying that I don't like something or saying something's bad is fundamentally human. You're allowed to do that. I personally really don't like Weezer. I personally really don't like Central C. I personally don't like Oasis. Does that mean that I hate them? No. Does that mean I think they're bad music? No. I just don't like the music, right? And I think the thing that really frustrates me is music snobbery, when someone's like, oh, this is objectively bad music, as if there's such thing as objectively bad art. I think at the end of the day, even that piece is it's a time increment. I can't remember the exact time, but it's just silence for a time increment. I think it's like 7 minutes or something. Like 7 minutes 23, say, for example. And it's just genuine silence for 7 minutes 23 seconds. And it's like some people are like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. It's just modern art, and it's a complete waste of time. And it's like, well, maybe to you. But there will also be people out there that are really, you know, maybe too active of mind. Maybe too kind of deep in the whole, like, artistic soup. And they're like, oh, this is really thought-provoking because it makes you sit and think for 7 minutes 23 and, you know, evaluate your surroundings and all this stuff. And they're right. So are you. But they're also right. And I think the thing as well with music, it's an interesting medium because you can have this much music knowledge. You can know theory on 7 instruments. Or you can be a 5-year-old who likes Happy Birthday and likes, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Because you're a happy little 5-year-old. And both are equally as valid, right? Like, there are people out there that will love Tchaikovsky and say, this is the peak of music, this is the best thing ever. And then you'll have people out there that say, like, oh, Guns N' Roses, this is the peak of music. Guess what? They're both right. Because there is no right answer to what is good music. Good music is what you feel in there and what makes you do up there. And ideally, a bit of both. Now, that's why I like music. Because it is a nice little thing. It's just a thing, and it makes you react, right? I want you to do an experiment at some point, just for the sake of it, for the hell of it. When you're next free, and you're doing something you really, really don't like doing, put on music you like. And next time you're doing something you really hate doing, try doing that, and then think, does this improve my mood somehow? If you're listening to the best music that you like, does it make you feel differently about the music, or does it make you feel differently about the task? Because I always feel like there is music that will uplift you in certain situations, and if you listen to sad music, for example, when you're already feeling bad, you're not going to feel better. Now, I understand there's that whole, like, Brazilian thing, where it's like, if you're feeling somber, have a day of somberness, and really work it out, and then the next day kind of crack back on with it. I get that. And that's, again, music is a very personal thing, I think. So I really hate when people put on a speaker, and then people are like, just listen. You know, I think the best thing in life you can give someone else, for me, at least, is music. If you can put someone on some music that they love, and they come back to you and they're like, oh my god, I actually really like that band or song or group or, you know, genre that you put me onto, it's one of the most rewarding feelings you can get, in my opinion. Now, the thing in the art of music is literally just that the complexity of it, but also, to be honest, the simplicity too. You can go into a room and you can hear something, and, you know, it's not necessarily love at first sight. It's the best thing about it is there's some artists, the first time I've listened to them, I've been like, what is the appeal here? The first, like, 3 times I listened to Poppy, I was like, this is crap. And then I listened to one song that I really, really liked, Afraid of Dying. And then I was like, oh my god, I get it. Like, Poppy's great. And now she's one of my favourite artists. And it's just stuff like that. It takes time sometimes. And I think writing that off, being a snob and saying, this is bad music because I know more about music than you, and, oh, this has, no raised eighth, and oh, the chord progression's unconventional, and oh, they've only using 3 instruments, and just stuff like that. It's like really, I think, almost ignorant. I think sometimes if you know a lot, you can almost become more ignorant because you require that kind of satisfaction through complexity. And it's something you can do. It's very, very easy to do if you have a musical background, if you have a very strong understanding of anything, really. It's very easy, if it's film, literature, whatever it might be, to then go, oh, this is crap, because it's so simplistic and boring and nothing. But when you break it down, actually, to someone else, that is the world. A cappella isn't for a lot of people. It's not something that's really that regularly pushed. I don't think it's something that, many people will have a cappella tracks saved on their Spotify. Choir music, the same. It's not things that you listen to, but I feel like it's the kind of thing when you see it in person, occasionally, or if you ever find it on contact just for some reason on your timeline, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, flipping, whatever you use, it's really rewarding, I think, just to branch out on that music and finding something new, finding something that is original and, well, not even necessarily original, just something out of the ordinary. It's brilliant. I think that's my frustration with music snobberies. It's very much classifications and this is the right way, this is the method, and it's staunch, it's rigid. And I feel like the rigidity of music is exactly what destroys it. You can't have rigidity in art, in my opinion. Now, there are formations of art that rigidity works as an art form, as a style, but I think across the entire genre, across the entire thing of art, the entire concept, having that rigidity is really naive and it's really limiting. And that's mainly why I have a problem with snobbery in art, because it's limiting. And because it suggests the fact that there's only one or a few good ways of making art, which is so untrue. I mean, you can literally have someone scraping their nails across a chalkboard, reverberated with, I don't know, Amen breaks and some Family Guy audios that are spliced up. Most people are going to hate that. Some people are really going to love it, though. And those people probably should be in a psych ward. But that's still music, whether you like it or not. And that's the truth. Music can be Pavarotti, which requires incredible skill and, ridiculous talent, years of training, and perfect execution. Music can also be a 10-year-old practicing the piano for the first time. Are they going to hit the same for everyone? No. But for that kid's parents who are watching him potentially proud, or them potentially proud, it means the world. And maybe that just doesn't, even compare to Pavarotti. Maybe Pavarotti just looks average. It doesn't give you the same emotion in that way. I think to this extent is why Music 1 is powerful. But also, I think the next time you're going to criticize, I guess, someone else's music taste or think negatively about just fully throwing stuff at a music genre, taste, individual even, just think how wide that scope is. And also who you're talking to. If you're talking to your mate and you're having a laugh and you're like, yeah, I absolutely despise Weezer, do it. Because I do that too. But just keep in mind that negating an entire artist, even that, is putting your estimation down. And to an extent, it's also just narrowing your ability to enjoy things. If you automatically say, I don't like Weezer, and maybe you do like Weezer. I mean, let's be honest, we've got limited hours here. I'm not telling you to listen to every single artist's discography and, find out every single song and I like one Weezer song, therefore I don't hate Weezer. I'm not asking you to do that. Because I'm not going to do that. Because I don't want to listen to Weezer. Sorry, Weezer. You suck. That point went nowhere. But what I was ultimately trying to say there is it's okay not to like things. But it's not okay to talk down on them purely on artistic level as if it's objectively bad art. You're allowed not to like things. But I think music snobbery is ridiculous for the reason that it undermines artistic integrity. And that is alphabet soup for saying, if you make fun of other people's music tastes, you're a tosser. So don't do it. Because it makes people feel bad. And it doesn't make you feel better either. Realistically, does it? And if you do get pleasure out of that, I'm disappointed. Alright, well, that was that. I'll hopefully see you around, and if you made it this far, why? People normally click off after like the first 20 seconds of these. So if you're still here, do the YouTube-y stuff. I'd appreciate that. And yeah, I'll hopefully see you around. Alright. What's that?